for that. So I think we've covered the largest homes. Let me talk about something a little bit different now. Let's talk about some of the smallest homes, the tiny homes. So tiny home, we'll say, consists of a bathroom with a shower, a kitchen, a bed, and we'll say on the wall they have a cable TV. We'll say the TV should have cable. Even with Showtime and HBO, which since you live in the United States, you know those are good movie channels. We want to use the tiny homes. They're already in use in a small way to end homelessness in certain cities, in or at least one city I know of, and in another one used for homeless vets. So they're used in a small way, but I think they should be used in a very large way, commercially or governmentally financed, or 501c or something, to end homelessness in all of the United States and globally, end homelessness globally. So this is the thing, people aren't always homeless because of drugs and alcohol, as some people suppose, or because of mental issues. Sometimes people are homeless because of family problems, or a person might have lost a spouse, or a person might have, it might have been abuse, neglect, separation, divorce. A person might have lost a job, or been laid off from a company they've been with for a long period of time. The refugee crisis, that's a form of homelessness post-war. There are other rare reasons why people are homeless. For example, a person might have been put out of college their senior year, having planned on, for no apparent reason, by the way, for having planned on using their degree upon graduation to teach school or to get into the music field, may instead find themselves in a combination of shelter and street homelessness for the following 10 years or decade of their life following that situation. So there are different reasons why people are homeless. We don't care why they're homeless. We want them housed. I think the minds affect minds. Yep, minds affect minds. I think that, the war would be alleviated. Sadness and madness and anger would be alleviated. Sickness would be alleviated. That means lessened if the homelessness is ended. For example, the homeless population is not the largest population of people in the United States. It's a minority, in fact. But I think they say we're as strong as our weakest link. So I think it definitely affects the whole. Considering non-homeless people with homes, they have good and bad moments every day. For example, and so do homeless people. They have good and bad moments every day. For example, a non-homeless person might have a bad moment at work or a bad moment in their relationship. They might have a good moment at work or a good moment at dinner or a good moment when they get off from work and they're able to get home and sit down and relax. A homeless person on the other end might have a bad moment in homelessness and having to work through that 24 hours a day, have bad moments in that. But they may have a good moment when they're able to sit down and eat, or while they're eating, or they may have a good moment at night when they finally find a place to lay their head, whether it be on a bench or a shelter, a bus bench or a shelter, or a piece of concrete on a box. When they rest, they might finally have a good moment. I'll say that's a fall moment, since the problem hasn't been handled, but some people may say otherwise, depending on, might say environmentalists or something. I don't know. Anyways, I do know that I believe the world would be a better place when homelessness is ended. So that said, I mentioned that, the homeless population is a minority, and that even though people ride past homeless people every day and they assume the next person or one of the people will help them out. And oftentimes that always does happen. Somebody does eventually come by and help them out, give them some money or some clothes or something like that, or give them a referral to a program or churches. All of that is good in a sense, but nobody really handles the problem, or do they? Not in a majority way thus far. They walk up to a homeless person and say, "Hey, you're homeless. I have a tiny home for you. Here's your keys," and give them the keys to their home. That hasn't happened yet. That's what we want to do in ending homelessness. By the way, the Ending Homelessness Think Tank blog is currently on the homepage of my website. So that said, to say about that. So when these tiny home communities are put into play, there will be certain rules. Like, for example, if a child is of age that they could have their own room, if they were at home and it's a homeless family, that child would have their own tiny home. Same thing with his two spouses, whether it be a male and male, woman and woman, male and woman, male and female. Each spouse would have their own tiny home because of size parameters. Also, for example, if for some reason, we trust that this won't happen, just as sure as some people put their money in trusts, to save for kids or whatever. And but in the case that, like, if one was burnt down or someone's tiny home was burnt down, they still have that tiny piece of land that tiny home was on to put a tent on, for example. The point is that if you see a person out after ending homelessness, if you saw a person out panhandling or whatever, that might be their choice. They might have a panhandling permit. Or if you see a person that might have mental illness sitting outside, their tiny home, because you can only have one in one state, and that might, for that person, may be in Arizona, and you see this person in Louisiana sitting around looking homeless. But the fact of the matter is, after we've ended homelessness, you'll know that's not the case even for that person that's panhandling. They're not homeless because they have a home because we've ended homelessness. Or you see that person sitting outside, they're not homeless because we've ended homelessness. I think the world would be a better place. Someone could maybe, if that person wanted to get back home, could say, well, I can get you a ticket. You're at your home by now, saying that that's the policy, and help them with a ticket to get back home or whatever. But we'll know that the world will be a better place because homelessness has ended. Those things in that tiny home model is shown and discussed and given video examples of currently in the Ending Homelessness blog on my homepage. More information there. So you'll check that out. So I think I've covered everything, Kevin. I appreciate you adding me to your friends list. Hopefully you'll check out those 3 videos. I could use views, likes, and subscriptions. Other than that, I hope you have a great night.
So the beginning of that message actually had to do with larger homes, but this particular clip is about ending homelessness. So I want to focus on that right now. There's 2 things. The reason why I'm turning the camera to my face to make this message is because I missed a few points, and I sent this message. Actually, I was sending that particular audio message to each individual person. That name was Kevin because I had sent it to an individual named Kevin. But I was making clips. There were 20-minute clips, 16-minute clips, 14-minute clips per person, and I made hundreds of them. Well, at least 100 of them, maybe hundreds, and sent it to prospectively at least 1,000 people. And before that, thousands and thousands and thousands of people I've actually promoted my website to, at least. But this particular message I've sent to at least 1,000 people. So the point that a couple points that I missed that I've mentioned in other messages to other people, and I'm going to record the entire message so you can hear the beginning in case you want to hear my entire business proposal. But let's talk about ending homelessness. So one of the things that I missed in this particular message to that particular person that I sent to other people was that homelessness, though it's a minority population, it exists in all 50 states of the United States of America. And so we want to end it in all 50 states of the United States of America, and to put those communities that I mentioned in that is in the think tank of my website, which you can see examples of through videos. There are models there. Homelessness does exist in all 50 states of the United States of America. And so we want to end it there, whether that mean building, there being 3 tiny home communities in each state, or in the states that need 3, or with 3,000 tiny homes, or however many it requires to end homelessness, which is again a minority population, should be done. What was the other point that I was thinking that I wanted to make to you? that let's see. So yeah, that's the main thing. When I think of the other thing, I will, because there was, there's that was just one of the clips I picked out, and I decided to, instead of keep making clips to for every new friend, a 20-minute clip for that, just to say that person's name in the clip, which is important, but I just, use clips that I had already made, and so I sent that one. But I'm sure if I go through the collection of them, I can find a more sound one, which I hit all of the points on. But that's a major point that I missed, so I wanted to mention that all 50 states. And what was the other thing? What was it? What was it? That's the main thing. So, if you have any questions, feel free to text me. Anything business. My number, my text only number is available on my website on the contact me page, which I didn't give. Did I give it in the link? I did definitely give it in the message. But it's myinitialstwice.com. This is Devon Chadwick White. So yeah, my initials twice, www.dcwdcw.com, and you'll get the website. Currently, the Ending Homelessness Think Tank blog or Think Tank issue is on the homepage, so you can check that out. Hopefully, you will. We want to end homelessness, so it'll make the world a better place. Perhaps I want to show you one more thing before we go. This wasn't what I forgot, but this isn't my better phone, but it's good for getting this information to you. So let's do that. So my latest post on Facebook, right, says this. And I think that I think that it would be good for you.